Here's a bite for you. What's more important in a fishing lure, action or sound? Well, this depends on water clarity. In extremely clear water, I'd probably say action. But in stained to off-colored situations or during low light conditions, I'd have to say sound. Why? Well, action's not worth a hoot until the fish can see it. And in so many situations, a bass may not see your offering until he hears it as it approaches or goes by a short distance. If the sound is attractive, he'll search it out, and once located, if the action is appealing, he'll then make the decision whether to smack it or not. Now, this is why it's important to fish the ideal depth, location, and use the proper color.
We're topwater bassing today with a fun and exciting lure, the Buzz Plug. Now, in the family of surface plugs, buzz baits are the only one that are constantly moving all the time. You can't stop them, twitch them, chug them, pop them, plunk them on top like other topwaters. But this one here, well, it's made a little different. And it not only can create continuous commotion topside, but this one can float.
There he is. Whoa, baby. Ooh. Okay, easy does it. You know, there are a few tricks that can be performed to make a good buzzbait better. If it's got the proper sound and if it's fished with the correct presentation in an ideal location at the right time, you better hang on. Now, speaking of presentations, let's discuss it for just a second. You know, buzzbaits produce best at a slow speed. The slower you present it, the more attractive it's going to be, and the easier it'll be for the fish to get it. Imagine stopping your buzz plug right next to that stump and letting it float there, then twitching and shaking it to entice a big bass to strike. Or how about retrieving your buzz plug with slow twitches and subtle movements when fish are especially inactive, or throwing the buzz plug on top of vegetation or over wood cover and working it with no snags. Well, let me tell you, with this bait you can do just that. Get out of the cover, Buster. Say off for me. There we go. Yes, you did.
There's some of there's some of that vegetation. See that little old bait works right over the top of it? Look at that. Comes right over the top of it, look at that. With a normal constant buzz bait retrieve, the buzz plug waggles side to side in a swimming motion. And when paused, the nose and blade lifts out of the water and perfectly positions the upturned double hook for sure hook sets. This same front end rise allows the angler to slap the water by twitching the rod tip. And the double upturned hook is nearly weedless, allowing anglers to throw into heavy, sloppy weed beds or into heavy cover and bring it back without snagging.
Here's a bite about rattling lures. Well, everyone knows that bait fish don't rattle as they move through the water column. Crawfish, one of bass's favorite foods, do make noise as they move about and feed, but they actually don't rattle either. So why should we use lures that rattle? Well, science has proven that bass are attracted to rattling sounds out of curiosity. And I believe if you present them a lure that looks like something they want to eat, when they come to investigate the sound, well, you're more than likely to get bit. The success of rattling lures over many years proves they do work, and really well at times. Now, my opinion, it's best to experiment. If the lure that you're using isn't working at a given time, switch to one that rattles. You might be pleasantly surprised.
Boom! Hit it twice, but finally got it. And a good one. Woo! Look at here. He came out of the water and got it. I got to come back here and get you, buddy. He's a dandy. He is a dandy. Got the old buzz plug in his face. All right, now come around here. There we go. Ooh. There we go. Not a pretty one. Yes. Okay.
Besides the buzzbait having a good sound, every bass lure, if it is to catch bass, must have other features to attract the bass's attention. Now, some of these would be size, color, shape, action, and, as I said earlier, a slow, erratic retrieve. You gotta mix up your presentation if you're gonna catch bass on a consistent basis. What works this morning may change at midday or by afternoon. And even the location of the lake is going to change from time to time. So you've got to constantly be thinking, experiment. You've got to experiment all the time.
There he is. He got it. Oh, come on out there, buddy. Oh, boy, look at here. Here we go. Whoop, 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 whoop. There he goes. Come here, Buster. You know, it's important to remember that bass are sometimes difficult to hook with a buzzbait when the strike occurs. If you jerk too soon, you pull the lure away. Instead, wait until you feel the fish, then bust him. A bass has a hard time taking in food that moves across the surface. Think about this. With his suction pump mouth, he's got to engulf water, air, and the lure all at the same time. And if there's any vegetation there, he's got to deal with that too. So if you jerk too quick, what's going to happen? All you're going to feel is nothing but air. And you're the one that's going to feel like a jerk.
You know, I'm asked from time to time, just how far can a bass hear a lure moving across the surface? Well, I really can't answer that. However, I have seen bass dart 20 feet or more and blast a lure. Now, something else you might find interesting is that the liquid medium in which the bass lives transmits sounds like a zip of electricity through a power line. Because of the density of water, sound impulses travel through water 5 times faster than through air. While a sound above water is traveling over 1,000 feet, one below the surface will travel 5,000 feet. Sound underwater travels a mile in a second as opposed to a mile in 5 seconds above water. This fact alone makes it obvious the bass can hear a mighty great distance.
Whoop. Oh, yeah. Yep. Don't make me come all the way back here, are you? I've got him. There he goes. With the buzz plug in his face. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, now, come on. Come up in here. Okay. You know, I can't overemphasize the importance of concentration on your retrieve when you're fishing lures of this type. It's imperative that you establish a rhythm when fishing any type of topwater bait, but especially so when you're fishing buzz baits.
Larger bass are not tailored to long pursuit and are just not going to chase a fast-moving bait. They're not going to do the 100-yard dash to catch a bait. And you know, looking back over the years, the majority of good fish that I've been fortunate enough to catch have been caught by fishing slow presentation type baits. Lures like, say, plastic worms, a jig, or say free falling a spinnerbait, or slow wobbling crankbaits with a stop and go type presentation, or by fishing a buzzbait at a slow pace.
There's no doubt about it, a slow presentation with a lure like this is going to be a lot more attractive, and when the strike does occur, a slow presentation will enable the fish a chance to get the lure. And when I say a slow presentation, I mean you can slow this thing down to a complete stop. Good night, look at that. Ooh. He knocked the fire out of that bait. Do whatever you want to do. Woo, he's a big one. Let me just get my hands in your big mouth. Whop! Look at that. Woo! There they are. Boy, he knocked the fire out of it. You know, there's just something mighty special about topwater fishing. If you can fool a surface feeder into striking, you'll experience one of the greatest thrills of angling. If you've never tried buzzing up a bass, well, you ought to give it a try. This kind of fishing we call topside commotion is simply tops. Sure hope you've enjoyed our outing today, and we hope to see you again next week at this same time. Until then, catch one for me.
Now I've gone fishing with Bill Dance today.